So we'll take this minute to do a small introduction. So my name is Renç, and I am the product owner at Curve Labs. I actually got the chance to recently join Curve Labs, and it has been an incredible past few weeks. We are building really, really incredible things with a really amazing set of developers, I must say. And it's a very diverse group. It's a very, very talented group. And today I'm going to be talking about one of the products that we're developing with PrimeDAO, with Collectivo, with everybody involved. And I think it's going to be great. I will give it one more minute, and then I will start, Felipe.
I can be a voice from the unknown lands. I don't have to show my face. It's great. Well, that's it.
Right.
We're on the clock. You can get going if you want.
All right. Thank you, Felipe. So hello, everybody, once again, and thank you for attending our Primetime event and sticking with us so far. It has been a very, very busy schedule, but I think all the talks have been really incredible. Until this point, we had great talks on the state of DeFi by Elon, on intro-DAO teams and their governance strategy by Pat, a very insightful look into DAO-to-DAO collaborations by Jeff, and I always love what Jeff does, and an introduction to Prime Rating by Luke. So in this talk, we will talk about our new product, Prime Pools, and how this actually builds on all these amazing concepts we have covered so far. As I previously mentioned, my name is Renç, and I am the product owner for Curve Labs. I had the chance to work with an amazing team to build this product. So I would like to give a quick shout out to them. Doug and Arseny, who are our back-end and front-end magicians. Pat, who led the project until I took over, and Bartu, who led the QA process. Kudos to them for making this happen. It has been a great journey so far. If you would like to learn more about Prime Pools or discuss any potential collective work, please feel free to get in touch with me, to reach out to me at rench@curvelabs.eu. With that being said, let's take a look at what we're going to cover today in a little bit more detail. So it's going to be basically divided into 4 sections. In the first section, we're going to cover the why. Like, why did we build this product? Where are we coming from? Which issues does it address? What is our idea behind it? So I would very much like to cover this section as to explain our vision behind the product. And then we will move on to the product itself. Like, how does it work? What makes it unique? Possible pools and features and ideas that we already have. And then after the theoretical part, I will cover a bit about the demo. I will show you guys actually the pools and how it works. And then at the end, we will have a small session for questions. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. So let's dive right into it. I think we can all agree that we are in the era of decentralized liquidity instruments. A number of protocols build these liquidity pools, which are a form of automated market makers, as we know. Unlike traditional order books, automated market makers enable exchange of assets through permissionless algorithms. I think it's very fair to say that liquidity pools should be considered an extraordinary achievement in the decentralized world. Liquidity has long been a big concern, and it's not just cryptocurrencies and blockchain projects that we're talking about. For the financial markets in general, liquidity has been a big concern. So besides solving this issue, liquidity pools also act as an enabler for concepts like bootstrapping projects and accelerating market making. It has been a key in the maturation of decentralized cryptocurrency markets. On a protocol like Balancer, for example, you can create pools with multiple assets, customizable weights, and trading fees that create passive income for those who provide liquidity. Additionally, Balancer gave us the opportunity to build smart pools, which allows you to govern the pools. Also, keep in mind that they have the V2 launch coming up, and they will be taking a big step towards being the primary source for DeFi liquidity. And the main architectural change between Balancer V1 and Balancer V2 will be the transition to a single vault that holds and manages all the assets added by all Balancer pools. So Balancer V2 will separate the automated market maker logic from the token management and accounting. The token management and accounting will be handled by the vault, while the automated market maker logic is individual to each pool. Now, this is groundbreaking in its own, but going forward and above that, they're also working on ways to significantly cut gas fees. Even though trades are carried out in batches against multiple pools, only the final net token amounts are transferred from and to the vaults, which will create significant gas fee savings. Besides that, you'll be able to create customizable automated market maker logics. You can have asset managers, and it will also include oracles that are resistant to sandwich attacks using accumulators. So for all these reasons, for reasons like exposure to multiple tokens in different ratios, automatic readjustment, fee generation, and their innovative approach, we have been working very closely with the Balancer team, which is a fantastic team, as we believe that they are the right group of people with the right ideologies to create the world of decentrally governed pools. Now, where we want to go next is we want to treat these liquidity pools as index funds. Basically, you have a number of tokens that are part of a Balancer pool. When you deposit collateral to the pool, it handles all the swaps and it returns you a pool token, which represents a share of that pool. Now, this automatically makes you an investor of an index that consists of multiple projects. We want to have these index products which are covering wide range of assets because our vision is to turn these liquidity pools into financial primitives. So understanding where we are in the era of decentralized finance with the liquidity pools, understanding the approach of index funds, we ask the question, how do we further unlock the potential of liquidity pools? How do we take this to the next level? And we believe that the true potential of these pools is the promise of liquidity bridges between allied DAO communities. Now, in an ecosystem with so many interoperable, codependent, and intersecting communities, we need bridges that guarantee productive collaboration between different protocols, and these bridges will steer those protocols towards shared goals. So why does this matter? Why do we care about it? Why we're working on it? Imagine a DAO alliance pool, a multi-project liquidity pool, which builds liquidity between alliance members. By co-providing liquidity to a smart pool, a coalition of DAOs can establish mutual skin in the game. By forming liquidity commons, they can cement political ecosystem partnerships. DAOs can further configure the weights of co-governed smart pools to align interests amongst themselves. This idea, this approach, integrates and aligns ecosystems of DAOs under shared incentives and a common monetary policy. Now, when we think about common monetary policy, the first thing that comes into mind is always the European Union. And even though we're talking about very, very differently structured organizations in terms of decentralization, this relationship can be similar to the early days of the European Union, where they had a parity metrics between countries. For example, on an important basket of goods, they would stabilize currencies between the countries in case there was too much slippage. This was really productive for enriching the European Union as a whole and integrating the idea of this alliance. If you have a coalition, all actors can benefit from this, regardless of the size. Small and large actors will benefit from these liquidity pools and alliances. Furthermore, these kind of tactics will tackle one of the biggest challenges, which is scaling. It is very hard for a single organization to take on this challenge of scaling up with the limited amount of resources it has. But if you have more organizations generating one asset, pooling together their strengths and resources, the scalability will be much, much more easier. Imagine a DAO trying to grow in this, competitive, fast-paced ecosystem. Imagine the challenges that they will face. Now imagine if we have 8 organizations with the same approach, attacking the same challenges, collaborating and sharing resources. It will amplify the network effect and help the scaling of the alliance as a whole. So we really believe the potential is there. Like, there is something special here that we can make between DAOs. So understanding the vision and the idea, where do we come in? So this is where we start talking about prime pools. First of all, I would like to say that we have completed the build of these pools, and we are open to collaboration with great minds who work in this space with similar ideologies. We believe this is a great way of initiating these conversations via these indexes that we're trying to create. So feel free to reach out to me if you have something in mind. Let's talk. Let's make something happen. Last November, what we did as Curve Labs was we developed a governance application. in the mainnet version of PrimeDAO, we can actually set parameters of the Prime pool. The pool is governed by the pool manager, which is a plugin on DAO Stack's Alchemy. So from here, pool adjustments can be made to the pool by reputation holding members of the PrimeDAO, which is touching on the things that Pat covered earlier. And all of these things makes this a DAO governed pool. Now, this is pretty exciting development, as it is one of the unique points, because a lot of DAOs do not actually do this. They deploy the farming contract in a centralized way. And after that, there's no way of changing the makeup of the pool. So up to this point, all the pools were either governed centrally or not governed at all. These pools can also be farmed and co-farmed by one or multiple DAOs to increase liquidity and value for all DAOs. These are going to be balancer liquidity pools governed by PrimeDAO. They will be available for investment through the Prime Pool application, and alternatively, the pools will also be, of course, available through Balancer's interface. So what kind of pools we're talking about? Essentially, there are no limits to the pools we can create here. An immense number of opportunities is available, which will act as this financial bridge that we have been preaching. Besides developing the product, what we did was we put together a couple of ideas. We brainstormed on some ideas on the pools, and there's a couple of them that I would like to share with you right now. The first one is we have this vision called DeFi 7+1 for the pool, which consists of 8 assets, one of them being the Prime. So we want to have a safe DeFi pool where the investors know that they're investing in an index of solidly built projects with great development teams. The Prime rating that Luke was introducing earlier will be evaluating the projects on their smart contract mitigation risks, and top Prime rated projects that are marked the safest will be the components of this pool. Considering that smart contract mitigation risk is one of the biggest concerns for people who are getting into this space, we believe that this can be a great place to start. The other pool that we are quite excited about is the DGov pool. And we believe in the long-term growth of the space. For that, we need DAOs to work together, and we need DAOs to achieve common goals. As Jeff covered earlier, we are a group of people who are trying to lead the space by exploring DAO-to-DAO relations. We have published DAO-to-DAO manifestos, these amazing research papers, and much more. Therefore, we wanted to have a pool, and it's only right to have a pool dedicated to decentrally governed projects. Our goal is to combine the pioneers of DAOs creating best-in-class ideas under one investable index. Through this pool, we aim to have a product for advocating, funding, and supporting decentralized governance. As these pools can be co-farmed, we can reward the hardworking minds behind them in a decentralized way. And these pools, we believe, will be a stepping stone for extending cooperation between members and supercharging this network growth across organizations. Now, with that being said, this kind of covers the theoretical part of the talk. Understanding where we are, where we're coming from, where we're aiming towards the key. Now, I will actually show you a demo. Hopefully things won't break and you guys can still see this. So let me show you the demo, and I'll move my screen here. All right. So this is actually what the Prime pools looks like. So when you enter, let's see. All right. So when you enter, of course, you can go and connect to your wallet, and you can basically connect to Web3, and boom, you're inside. So the first homepage consists of, an introduction to liquidity pools, as we just covered. What are them? What are the benefits? Them being open access, safe and reliable, and on-chain management. And then when you scroll down, you have the chance to dive right into the pools. Or if you would like to get further education on the pools, you can be directed to the PrimeDAO page, where we explain further, the ideas behind the liquidity pools and our liquidity pool manager. On the bottom, you will have this open call to collaboration, because in PrimeDAO, we really take pride being the connection point of, designers, developers working on amazing stuff. So if you would like to be a contributor, you can join the ecosystem, or you can stay informed by signing up to the newsletter, which is fine. This is the homepage. If we actually go to the pools page, Here, we're going to be able to see the active pools we have right now in the application. We only have Prime Pool active right now, and we have the other two pools that I just discussed, which are DeGolf Pool and DeFi 7+1 Pool, marked as coming soon. Now, right under it, you'll be able to see the valuable details of each pool. Now, we have only one pool right now, but imagine this being a quick glance of many pools where you'll be able to quickly compare which pool you would like to invest based on your taste, based on your risk understanding. You can see the market cap, the 1 day, 1 week, 1 month performance. There's a 1 month chart. You can see the ratio split between assets. This is an 80-20 Prime and ETH pool. And then you can see the B Prime price and everything else. And from that point on, you can either go and buy B Prime directly, or if you're not convinced, if you would like to learn more about the pool, you can go to the Prime Pool landing page, which is basically a specific page which we will design for all pools that we will have in the application, where the investor can learn even further details about the pool itself. So in the overview section, we will have a description about the pool and the methodology behind it. On the left side, on the pie chart, which is something that I really like, that if we hover over it, you'll be able to see the details of the asset in the pool, the ratio, the price, and the 24-hour price change. This is for Prime. You can also have the same details for Ethereum. As you can see, our front-end and back-end developers have been working on these details to make this user experience as joyful as possible. Now, if we hover over to the details page, you can see even further details about the pools, such as like how much fees have been accrued so far, what is the accrued volume, the pool members who are actively contributing to this pool, and you can also go on Etherscan and check everything else. To the last tab, we have the price tracker, and at a glance, you'll be able to see the evolution of the performance of this pool, and then you can either decide to buy B Prime or redeem B Prime, and they act the same way as the balancer pools does. So we will just go in to buy B Prime, and you will have the options right away to either wrap or unwrap ETH. Once you do that, you will be able to pick whether you want to submit collateral on a single asset or a weighted asset. And depending on that, you will need to keep in mind the ratios of the assets. So if you input ETH, you will have the 80-20 ratio that you will have to input Prime. Now, once you do that, you're on your way, you're ready to go, and you can basically be a participant of the pool and buy the B Prime token. Now, after you buy the B Prime token, after you do your transaction, we have a very cool place called the transaction history on the left side. Excuse me. And if you go there, you're going to be able to see basically all the transactions that you did in this application. So this will be a place where you can quickly see what pools you have invested in, the date you have invested in this pool, the type of action you took on the pool, the assets you put in, and the assets you got out, and actually the Etherscan details. This is quite exciting because right now on Ethereum, this is the only index app that provides the investors with this much feedback in detail. And then on the last page, we have the Prime token page. And quickly, we can see the circulating supply of Prime. We can see the staked amount of Prime. And also, we can see the price of Prime. We really want the Prime token to be a big part of what we are doing. So we really felt like having this there would give that message. You can learn more about the tokenomics by clicking there, or you can go and buy Prime as well. So with that being said, we covered the homepage, we covered all pools pages, we covered the Prime pool landing page, the transaction history, and the Prime token, and that kind of concludes our demo part. Now I will stop here as this is the end of my presentation, of my talk, and I'm happy to take any kind of questions if you guys have any. Please feel free to shout them out. If you like to, as I said, if you like to get in touch with me, feel free to get in touch with me at rench@curvelabs.eu. Maybe just checking the chat here. Thank you, Tobias. I'm happy you like it, man.
It's very cool, man. I'm so happy. I hadn't seen most of this before.
Great. That's great. I'm happy to hear that everybody's like it. I think we're going to do really, really cool stuff with this Prime pools. And it touches a lot about the potential of DAO to DAO partnerships that we can create that Jeff kind of touched on. And I think there is immense potential to do incredible things with multiple DAOs here. We can really like dictate what we do together, and we can co-govern our treasury, which I think will take everything to the next level.
Completely. Having been in the space for the better part of the last 3 years, it's fantastic how fast things are coming together.
Yeah,
and it makes me happy to see how much DAO work done within DAOs has been the important component that makes the difference. Especially if you consider DeFi protocols with governance tokens as DAOs, with like, let's say, low intimacy DAOs, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's can I interview you for a little second just to keep people entertained? Because
of course.
I guess my interest in this is that most of the people that we're working with on a daily basis, between Collectivo and Curve and everybody in Prime, I've known these people this whole time, these 3 years, and you were like my new friend, And I like your energy.
Yeah.
I like your energy. I like what you've been doing. So I would love to know more. Like, what's your crypto story and stuff like this. I used to have a podcast that is kind of on hold called Mass Adoption. It would always start with this question, like, what's your crypto origin story?
That's a very good question. As I said, I recently had the pleasure and the luxury to join Curve Labs, which has been an incredible journey for the past couple of weeks. Besides that, I come from a very, let's say, corporate background. I was a digital product manager in companies like Sony, in electronic arts, the video gaming giants, and recently in Johnson & Johnson as well. So when I wanted to make this shift to crypto and to DeFi, the first question that everybody asked me was like, why do you want to do it? Like, why do you want to give up the cushion of having this corporate safety net to a very fast pace and an unknown environment? And when I talked to Luke, when I talked to Pat and everybody at the Curve Labs, I told them the same thing. I think, honestly, what we do here is going to matter much, much more than what I have been doing in the rest throughout my career. I believe that this application itself, all the things that we have discussed so far in this panel, they touch the people that can really shape the future of consumers, of shape the future of finance. So my main reason to get in this space was to do something, more satisfying with my career and also with my time. And throughout this, just like 2-3 weeks that I've been in the Curve Labs, that question has already been answered for me. It's super clear that I made the right choice. I am with an amazing group of people, and we are really building things that moves the space further. So for me, it has been an incredibly satisfactory experience so far.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So welcome to the space. We're glad to have you. We hope we're going to steal many wrenches from the corporate world. I just got a little bit scared when you said that the corporate world is safe and cushioned, and I think we are way safer and way more cushioned and way more free and way happier. You think 6 months down the line, you're gonna feel that you made one of the best decisions in your life.
Yeah, I mean, safety net and cushion in the traditional sense of having this illusion of safety, but not really creating the safety for yourself. Like, you can have the safety of the corporate, but unless you build something on your own, unless you build something that you can own, you never really have that safety. Like, you just have the safety of the company that you're working for. Yeah, Luke was telling me about the ownership economy. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was trying to get to as well. So you have an illusion of working in a giant company that everything's fine and you don't have to move out of your comfort zone. But unless you move out of your comfort zone, unless you try to do something on your own, unless you build things on your own, you will never have that satisfaction and individual safety of I think making something of your life. Yeah, and just as this master said, it's not safety when you're depending on someone. You can only create true safety for yourself.